Alright, let's get straight into this. So, let me go ahead and rank the new Bleach event units that came out for, of course, the new update. And let's get started with some side notes. So, the unit stats are RNG based, so the stats that I showcase right here after I do my little side notes, they're not all the same. They may be different. There's a little percentage gap between each and every person's unit. The other thing is that it's situational. When it comes down to ground, hills, and hybrids, you might want to get something over the other, depending on which one you're missing or which one you need more. Third of all, this is opinionated. So, if you don't care of what I'm saying, then it's alright. Do your thing. Get whatever you want. Right? I'm not gonna force you to do anything. Nobody's gonna do that. You do your own thing. And of course, this is not including relics. Alright, since the addition of relics, I'm not gonna include them. It's just straight evolution and max level. Alright, so I'm not gonna go ahead and rank them first. I'm gonna go ahead and just show their stats. So the first one that's gonna come up is maxed evolve Kenpachi. So Kenpachi, his damage is around 80,000, DPS is around 30,000, SP is around 11 seconds, 26 range. He does have a full AoE. He does multi-hit. His affinity is physical and light. His attack type is ground. His ability is AoE stun, and you can place 4 of these guys down. So Kenpachi, this man is an absolute menace. He's honestly a beast of a unit. All right, the damage is already there, around 80,000. That's like in the good damage. That's in the great damages, reaching Yuta, I believe. But reaching that type of damage. His SPA is a little higher though, up to 11 seconds. But if you take into account that he has full AoE plus he has an ability that AoE stuns passively, this is like Brook, but if you remove all like the support buffs and replace it with AoE stun. It's actually pretty nuts how Kenpachi works. I recommend getting him because this guy is an absolute menace. Even though he might not be my number one, spoilers, he still is really good. Also, his affinity, physical and light, this is gonna be good for legend stages that have dark or dark and physical weaknesses. So keep that in mind. Up next, we got maxed evolve Gin. So Gin, his damage is around 30k, DPS around 22,000, SPA is around 5.5 seconds, 47 range. He has a thick, veiny, juicy line AoE. I believe it's bigger than Gojo's. He doesn't multi-hit. His affinity is just physical. His attack type is ground, and his ability is a 50% crit chance on every attack. Now, if you don't know what a crit chance is, basically every time he crits, he multiplies his damage by 2. So if we take 30,000 and he crits, that's 60,000. If we take the 22,000 DPS, that's 44,000 on crit. It's actually really good as a ground unit, and he attacks every 5.5 seconds with a range of around 47. Now think about it. You go place this guy all the way in the back in like a line area, and he has a thick AoE. Remember that. He attacks every 4.7 seconds. So place 4 of them at the end. They could just keep attacking. This is what Yami is supposed to be. This is what he's supposed to be. Thick line AoE doing a ton of damage. Now his damage might not be like spectacular. 30,000 might not be great, but if you put into account of that crit, that's kind of like a Gojo version of the Ezreal Valkyrie, if that's what you could compare it to. Coming up, we got maxed evolve Ichigo. So Ichigo, his damage is around 52,000, DPS of 35,000, SPA of around 6 seconds, 47 range. AoE is similar to Gin. He has a thick and veiny line AoE. Like I said, it was similar, so it's a bit bigger than Gojo's, I believe. But instead of him not multi-hitting, Ichigo actually multi-hit, which is really nice. His affinity is physical dark, his attack type is ground, and his ability is one of the most unique ones in the game so far. So his ability basically gives him a 900% damage buff, and he dies after he attacks. Yes, this is one of the first units that die after using their attack, or at least have a big consequence when using it. Now, if we take that 900% damage buff into account, his damage would be around 520,000 with the ability. His DPS is going to be around 350,000, even though he only hits once. So after he hits once, he's gone. The blemish, he's gone. And you might be wondering to yourself, why? Why is that good? Is that good at all? Does that matter? Yes, it is. It's really good for leaderboard runs. It's good for legend stages because as soon as you place him down, a boss spawns. You can place both of them down. Like, there's one person that just keeps spamming money units and keeps upgrading Ichigo. Once that boss comes, upgrade Ichigo, use the ability, and then boom, the boss is dead. It's really overpowered. Now, would I use this generally? Not really, but for legend stages and these new up-and-coming challenges, yes, he is really overpowered. Finally, I have Fang. I'ma just call her Fang, but her damage is around 40,000, DPS is around 36k, SPA is around 5.6 seconds, 42 range, and AoE is just a big circle. Nothing too crazy. It's not that large. It's a little small in comparison to these other AoEs, but she doesn't multi-hit. Her affinity is physical plus air. Her attack type is a hill, so she hits airs, which is really nice. She doesn't have an ability, but you can place 5 of her down. So the whole thing about Fang is that she could place 5 of her down, making her a really good physical air damage dealer. Now, I don't know if this is better than Urza Lightning because the AoE is a lot smaller, but you can take into account of the physical and air elemental instead of the physical and lightning elemental. So whenever air is needed, you could use her. But either way, if you still need a heal unit, this is a really good heal unit. Just because the range reaches up to 42 and she attacks basically every 6 seconds with 40,000 damage. And you can place 5 of her down. Really great physical heal damaging unit. Now, let's get into the rankings. So, of course, for number 1, it might not be too surprising. It might be surprising for some of you guys, but for the first one, I put your boy Ichigo. So, of course, Ichigo, he's a great boss killer. He's a great leaderboard unit. So, for leaderboards, you could have a team of 4. One person just gets support units plus the Ichigo Mugetsu and spams the money and keeps supporting. And then when a boss comes, get the Mugetsu Ichigo, boom, kill it, dead. Replace it with another Ichigo, boom, kill it, repeat until you can no longer do it. He's so good for killing bosses and clearing waves. Now, second up, I got Kenpachi. So Kenpachi is all around just really great. Alright, he has an amazing stun passive ability. He has a full AoE circle as an attack range. He has great damage up to 80,000, but he does have a high SPA, which brings him down a little, but still that you kind of have to balance him out. If he didn't have a high SPA, he would kind of be overpowered. Alright, and then for number 3, I have Gin or Fang. Alright, it's kind of situational. I'd put Gin over Fang just a little bit higher just because he is limited and he has that critical or 50% critical, you could say, but it comes down to situational. Right, Gin is an incredible ground damage dealer with a 50% crit every 5 to 6 seconds, which makes it deal around 30 to 60,000 damage, and he has a fat line AoE. On the other hand, Fang is an amazing heal unit. Alright, she could hit airs. You can place 5 of her down. She does 40,000 base at max every 5 to 6 seconds, but she does have a small AoE. So you could kind of counteract the cons and benefits with each. I'd probably put Gin over Fang, so my list would probably go 1 Ichigo, 2 Kenpachi, 3 Gin, and 4 Fang. But it's up to you guys for that number 3. I think the number 1 and 2 is pretty spot on. But anyways, some of you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you boys goes in later, and go like grinding.